Hey there. So I'm just answering the question about 7D from the homework in section 8.2. So let's see. I do have the question here. Where did it go? Oh, sorry. Here it is. So Gay ate 1/2 as much as Hallie, but 3 times as much as Ida. So half as much as Hallie or Haley, and 3 times as much as Ida. So if we're going over here, the first one, let me jot it down. So Gay, half Haley, Gay, 3 times Ida. Okay, so if I convert those into ratios, the first ratio is 1/2, and that's comparing Gay to Haley. And the second one is the ratio 3, which is going to be 3/1, which again is comparing Gay to Ida. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can go about this. One is to work out your fractions and your ratios first, or you can think about working out your picture first. So let me do both. So I'm going to start out by showing you how you can fix your ratios before you create your picture. So if you notice, in the two ratios, right in the one on the left, Gay has 1 in the ratio, and the one on the right, Gay has 3. And so if I'm going to assign him a number of pieces of the bar, I can't give him 2 different values. So I have to make these the same. So if I were to change the 3 to a 1, then I'd have to divide that by 3, which means I'd have to divide the bottom number by 3 as well to keep the fraction balanced. And so I'd end up with 1/3 on the bottom. And I don't want to talk about fractional pieces. So that means what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the numerators the same. So, and in fact, I'm going to make them both 3. So I'm going to stick with 3. That means the one on the right doesn't change. It's still 3/1, Gay to Ida. But if I'm going to change the one on the left, I'm going to have to multiply that top by 3 in order to get a 3 up top. But in order to keep my fractions balanced, if I multiply the top by 3, I also have to multiply the bottom by 3. And that's going to make my bottom 6. So that when I look at 3/6, it reduces back to 1/2. And now Gay gets the same amount of pieces. So now I have that Gay gets 3, Haley gets 6, and Ida gets 1. So 3 and 6 is 9, plus 1 is 10 total pieces. So my candy bar is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces. The first 3 I'll give to Gay, and then 6 to Haley. And then lastly, 1 to Ida. So that means that Gay has 3 out of 10 pieces, Haley has 6 out of 10 pieces, and Ida has 1 out of 10 pieces. Okay, so that in that case, you get your ratios to match up properly before you start drawing pictures. But you don't have to do it that way. You can say, oh, I want to use pictures to help sort it out. So let's stick with the same ratios from the same problem. So 1/2 Gay to Haley, and 3/1 Gay to Ida. And so in the last one, I constructed my candy bar in a line as if it looked like a candy bar. But you don't always have to do that, okay? And so I can break it down into different pieces. So instead of making it one big bar that I'm going to cut up, I'm going to start by labeling my people. So let's see if I can actually write a G. I'm going to have a G for Gay, an H for Haley, and an I for Ida. And I'm going to give them boxes that I can cut or duplicate, okay? So if I'm looking at the first ratio here on the left, that means that Gay gets 1 box and Haley gets 2 boxes. Now, I made them a little bit bigger because I knew what was coming, but actually, I might actually make them smaller. It doesn't really matter. Say Gay gets 1, Haley gets 2. If you make them large, then you can cut them, but if you make them smaller, you can multiply them out. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, now, in order to incorporate this second ratio, the 3/1, Gay's got to have 3. Okay, well, that means I've got to turn Gay's 1 box into 3 boxes. So if I multiply Gay's boxes by 3 to go from 1 to 3, then you have to do the same thing to everybody's boxes because I have to maintain the ratio from the first one. So if I multiply Gay's boxes by 3, I'm going to have to multiply by Haley's by 3 as well. So if I multiply hers by 3, then she gets 6, right? Her two go from, she goes from 2 to 6. Then Gay has 3, and so Ida can have 1, right? And so then all total, we get 10 pieces. So Gay has 3 out of 10. Haley has 6 out of 10. And Ida has 1 out of 10. And if you want to bring it back together as one big chocolate bar, right, and do it like we did the last one, you could. But this picture right here is good enough for me, right? That constitutes a drawing in my world. Okay, so either of those two strategies should work for you.